Hello everyone, Violet here, and today I want to talk to you about a concept. It is in Waldorf schooling, but I actually find this concept to be super beneficial for myself. So I started this actually with my toddler, and then I'm finding how much it enriches my life and helps things flow better for me. So I wanted to talk about it. Even if you don't have kids, even if you're not, a teacher or a caretaker, you might actually find some value in this video. And if so, I would love to hear about what you think. But this is basically about the rhythm of the day and rhythm of the week within the Waldorf philosophy, which is a philosophy by Rudolf Steiner. It's someone who's extremely inspiring to me on a spiritual level and intellectual level, and I am looking towards potentially homeschooling. We'll see, it's still kind of up in the air, but potentially homeschooling within the Waldorf method and principles. So that is something that I'm working towards, and yeah. So this concept is really, really wonderful with young children and me, so and adults, but maybe it depends on who. I don't know. It's really good for me. But we'll start from the child's perspective, which is basically when you're looking at the week as a whole, and if you said a weekday, if you said Tuesday, that doesn't really mean anything to a toddler. What distinguishes each day from each day? And I think that sometimes unexpected things or not knowing what the day is going to hold, having a lot of unpredictability, it can be sort of jarring for kids, and sometimes that could be a reason to act up or throw a tantrum or just get very frustrated and not be able to communicate exactly what is wrong or what they have questions about. And so in this example, you have a color for each day of the week. And if you're working with children, you might actually wear this color, and you might actually dress your kid in this color. It's based off of the planets. So we'll talk about the planetary rulers of each day of the week. And this is where I think this could be useful, even if you're not wearing the daily colors, just feeling the energy of each day of the week and having it sort of having that as a driving factor towards what you tend to do on that day of the week can be really helpful for anyone. But for a kid, let's say, Tuesday is red day within the Waldorf philosophy. So if your kid is wearing red, and let's say that most, for us, we go to a library story time on red days. So your child might already kind of have a feeling for how the day might be, because red days might have a specific kind of flow that's just, or things that happen just on red day. Or if you have something unexpected, if you're hey, we have an appointment, we're going to the dentist, it's going to be on red day. Or hey, you're going to see your best friend on green day. They have something to look forward to, and they can kind of or understand that maybe something is coming up, and just have a word for what is that day. So yeah, and I think that this is really beneficial also just, from my perspective as a parent, simplifying what the schedule is going to be or what the focus of each day is. So because sometimes I get really overwhelmed by choice, honestly, especially with a lot of unstructured time, and having different options, which is great for things to do with a child, but then also, maybe having things be a little bit up to me, and that can get a little bit overwhelming. So I found this to be the case even before I had a kid, just being someone with a lot of different interests. I think that having focuses of each day is really beneficial. And the rhythm of the day, it tends to go in rainbow order, but I'm sure you could do this however it makes sense to you, and you don't have to have every color is everything, but just thinking of the flow of the day, and where do you start, what happens next, and going from the beginning to the end. And you can look specifically, you can make a bedtime routine have a certain flow, but this is looking overall at the whole day. A good thing to do is to alternate low energy activities with higher energy activities, and kind of have this sort of up and down wave motion. throughout the day. So I'm going to show you what I actually created to demonstrate and like have this on the wall so we can visually see it, my weekly rhythm and daily rhythm with my son Arthur. And I came up with this idea, and I think it works really well, to have a sort of I want to say pinwheel. What is the word? Like something that you can turn to be like the weekly day. So you can turn it, and you can have the day of the week on top, which has its own color based off of the planets, and we'll go over those. And then the caterpillar itself. Oh, I'm making a caterpillar. I'm sorry. Totally forgot that detail. That's the head of the caterpillar, and we're going to put some fun antennas on that. And then the body of the caterpillar itself goes through the rhythm of the day. So let's start with the days of the week, and I'll explain to you like what each planet is and what that type of energy is, and then what our focuses are, which I'm looking forward. So it's not just now we start with things that of course are like age appropriate, but things that can build and become like maybe kind of a homeschooling type of curriculum in the future. So we'll see, but we're planting these seeds now. So Mondays is Moon Day. So this is the moon, and within Waldorf system, the color is purple. So this would be Purple Day. And, the moon is more flowing, more intuitive, more rhythmic. And it's funny because we often associate Mondays with like it's the start of the work week. And I think that maybe some of this tension of starting the work week is like, starting the work week on a Monday when you might actually be in more of a flow, kind of intuitive, more like less rigid kind of a state is challenging. Maybe we should start on a Tuesday because that's Mars Day. But anyway, I digress. Our focus for Mondays is art and music. So each day has kind of a special thing that happens. So Mondays would be painting, or getting out like art supplies that maybe we don't normally just have out, and really focusing in on that, or having music time. Arthur's dad is a professional musician, so they like to play together, and maybe eventually this will become the day that we have music lessons. That is Monday. It's kind of like creative focused. Art and music are the two words that I chose. Tuesday is Mars Day, and so this is actually a math and science day. So we go to a library story time. That is a special event that happens on Tuesdays. Sometimes we go to a museum as well. So that is our Mars Day. Wednesday, the color is yellow and the planet is Mercury. And our focus for Wednesday is nature and mindfulness. So on this day, we might take and I think of Mercury, and the color yellow also as associated with breath and air and the mind and kind of like a refreshing kind of energy. So we go on a nature walk on Wednesdays, and we go to a nature center as well. And there's also a kids yoga class that sometimes we're able to go to. So that is our Wednesday, is mindfulness, the mind, Mercury, and nature. So Thursday is Orange Day, and this planet is Jupiter. So I think of Jupiter as being very expansive and kind of reaching beyond, just your experience, and maybe expanding your mind, maybe expanding your, your ideas, what you're learning. And so this day, the two words I chose are literature. By the way, all of these words, this are just what I'm associating with each day. You can kind of make it your own. But the planets have set associations, and then the colors come within Waldorf philosophy. But the words that I have for Thursday is literature and history. And this is a day that we have library story time. And I also like to go to a library myself that day and pick up some books, reading more stories and expanding our minds in that way on Thursdays, on Orange Day. Fridays are Green Day, and this is Venus. So I think of this as connecting to Mother Earth, and the two words I have for Fridays are farming and gardening. So on this day, we actually visit a beautiful biodynamic farm, and we pick up our CSA vegetables, and we walk the grounds. It's really lovely. So that's set on Fridays during that time of the year. It's about a little less than half of the year that happens. And then otherwise, our activities that day are gardening and feeding the birds, like filling up our bird feeders. And if the season allows, Fridays are also a wonderful day that we like to go like berry picking or to a pumpkin patch or apple picking, like that kind of thing, like a pick your own experience. And then that evening, like cooking whatever we got together. So I think that's really beautiful, and that's Fridays. So then over the weekend, we have Saturday, which is Saturn, and we have Sunday, which is the sun. So Saturday is Blue Day. So that day is more so for fun and events for us. So something special might be happening on Saturday. It's a little bit more open-ended. At the bare minimum, we might go to a playground, go do something fun, and that's Saturdays. So I think the only one in my concept that might not make entirety of sense, but socially it does, is that we have Saturn with this kind of like fun, open-ended like events social day, which is Saturday. So I used to say like, okay, Saturn's about like discipline, and this is when I do like my sadhana practice, and this is when I'm like really holding myself accountable to like these certain things. But it just, with the way things work out, this is why things are adjustable, and you do them for like what works best for you. Saturdays tends to be a different kind of day. It's the weekend. That's okay. Whereas Sunday is a little bit more at home, a little bit more internal, spiritually focused. So Sundays is White Day, and our two words for that are seasonal and spiritual. So we might do something to celebrate like the time of year, to maybe sing certain songs together, maybe create some sort of craft or some sort of meal that's like specific to some sort of celebration, something marking the time of the year, marking any holidays. We celebrate the Sabbats and the Wheel of the Year. So that's our focus on Sundays. I also like to go to a nice restorative yoga class on Sundays as well. So that is that day, and that is the whole week. So now let me tell you about our rhythm of the day. And these activities that I just mentioned, the special activities for each day, they just kind of fall wherever they fall within this rhythm. But this rhythm is pretty open-ended, and there are spacious things about it that we can sort of like be spontaneous and go do something special. So we start with red time, and this is early in the morning. And during the first part of the day, my husband actually mostly helps with the morning routine with Arthur. So that's their like really fun playtime together. And that's like my me time in the morning is journaling and yoga. So sometimes I've just started going to a very early morning yoga class. But otherwise, and I might bring my journal with me there and like journal before the class. But otherwise, I'm trying to, like be very centered, very calm in the morning, get up, do my own journaling, and then do some of my own yoga, which Arthur actually joins in with me for. And it's really fun. The next part of the day is the orange time, and this is outdoors or exploration. And so this is the time that we go hiking, or we go on a nature walk, or maybe, spend time on the porch, spend some time outside depending on the weather. And then also depending on the weather and depending on the focus of the day, we might go to a museum, do something explorative, but definitely outside if possible. And then the next time of the day is yellow, and this is when Arthur takes his nap and I get my work done. So that's what, and usually we do lunch right before that. So it goes lunch, and then we have nap time and work time. And you can really use, I forgot to say this before, you can really use things that are always happening, like going to sleep, whether that's nap or bed, waking up, of course, and meal times or snack times too, as sort of pillars that you're like, all right, this marks the change from this time into this next time. It doesn't have to be marked by like literally the clock, unless you have to operate that way. But otherwise, you can kind of mark it by these big events that happen throughout the day. So then after that is green time, and this is a bit more open-ended. This is play or social time, and this is after nap. We might get together with play dates, we'll have some snacks, have more open play time, just like, whatever it is that we need. And then as we start winding down for the evening, the next time is blue time, and this is creativity and cooking. So this is when maybe Arthur gets set up with coloring or some kind of, like simple craft, or wants to help us with cooking, maybe both, and we're getting dinner ready. And then we have dinner and we go into the purple time, which is cleansing and meditation are the two words that I put here, but this also coincides with Arthur's bedtime routine. So cleansing to me means a lot of different things that can kind of happen during this time. It could be tidying up the space. It could be, taking a bath. It could be on new moons, I like to smoke cleanse the house. And oftentimes Arthur would take his bath. He doesn't take one every day, but he would take it during this time to wind down for bed. And then meditation, for me, I either meditate in the bath, or I always actually meditate and pray as I'm settling Arthur down for bed. So that is that time. So he's in bed now. This next time, the white time, is just for me. And this is writing and reading. And actually my husband too, he does this too. We like to read before we go to bed. This is also the time we spend together, but I often have to get work done at this time as well. So writing can include journaling, going to bed, like before going to bed, but also like oftentimes I am having to do more so like admin work or working on my novel. So that happens at night, which is when I tend to be really creative. So I love the times when we're able to not have any screens before bed, and definitely the reading before bed portion is like that for us. But when I'm having to write on my computer, it takes away from that, but at the same time, it's when I feel really creative and it's when I feel really in the mood to write. So it does work out that way. So yeah, that is our personal rhythm of the week and of the day. I'd love to hear what you think about it, and if you're incorporating any of these concepts too, what you do, or if this inspired you, even just to look at the like planets of the week and what types of energy they have and what kinds of habits, maybe if you have like a habit that happens a couple times a week but not every single day, like what are the best days for that. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new here too, and yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.